Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very, very well. How are you?
I'm very good. I've walked the dogs today. I've tidied my bedroom. I've done a bit of this and a bit of that, and I'm ready to go. Going to work hard all day.
I have this morning, I made my breakfast and I managed to, burn my toast and explode my egg in the microwave. It wasn't a great breakfast.
You be careful with your eggs in the microwave.
I was like, oh, serious. And I knew what I was doing. I didn't put a cover on it. It was completely my fault. And I ended up
having to clean your microwave.
And while I was cleaning the microwave, I could smell burning, and that was
it's not good.
But I ate it anyway because I don't like food waste.
I like burnt toast. Reminds me of my childhood. I used to burn everything.
It was a little bit too burnt, I have to say. What it was is that I made some sourdough this week and I underproofed it because it'd been so hot. I was worried about it overproofing, so I underproofed it, so it's gone really like mushy in the middle. And I don't like, no sourdough is untoastable in my opinion.
No.
But the problem is that the inside's really mushy and the crust isn't, so the crust is burning before the rest of it gets toasted.
I love that you're like just so getting into this sourdough.
It's the fact that I know it's overproofed or underproofed. That's what I'm impressed. Right. I don't know how to stop that happening, but once it's baked, I know where. I know. But yeah,
give it time.
Yeah. I mean, I've only been doing it 2 months now.
Yeah.
So
there you go. So today we're doing part 2 of our business cake business fundamentals.
Yeah.
And so what are we talking about today?
Today, we are talking about finding your niche. And I've been doing research about finding your niche, and I find it really difficult to split this from ideal client. In my head, I mean, I kept sort of like wanting to talk about ideal. So we are going to split it into 2. So we're doing finding your niche this week and then ideal client next week.
Yeah.
And they're so closely linked.
Yeah, I found that as well. But they are. You have to separate them because they definitely fall under their own headings.
Yeah, they're 2 separate things. And I think not having a niche is what a lot of people do when they start. I know I did.
Oh, same. You're like, I can do everything. Yes, I can do it. I can do it all.
Yeah. And the funny thing is that I started off having a niche.
Oh yeah, yours was cupcakes.
And then I'm like, I can do all of it. And then my niche kind of went by the wayside, and that was that. So what is a niche?
Start with finding your unique selling point.
Finding your you, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. What are you good at? Do you have a flair for the cake flavors? Are you good at making models? Are you good at making sugar flowers? Are you making something that nobody else is making? And you're like, oh, there's a market for this. I can slip it in.
Yeah, it's finding your talent and like really leaning into that talent. But the other thing I find also about having a niche is not just leaning into that, is actually, and this is the really hard thing, is not doing the other stuff. And that's what's difficult, is to not put it down the other stuff.
I think because we were novices and we hadn't done a business plan, we hadn't listened to any, we hadn't done any podcasts, didn't exist then, but I hadn't read anything about it. I just went, right, I'm doing a business. And yes, I can do everything.
I can bake whatever you want to bake. It's almost that becomes your niche, doesn't it? It's that I can do whatever you want me to do.
And that's where you want to steer away from, don't you?
Absolutely. But I mean, I think when you're like really early on, you've got to find out what you're good at. You do have to do it, but it is really difficult when you're first starting. So I started selling cupcakes, and then someone said, will you make a birthday cake. I'm like, yeah, I can make birthday cakes. And then I was writing recipes, and then I had all these things, and I tried to talk about all of them. And what I should have done in the background, I should have carried on with the cupcakes and then tried out all the other things in the background.
Yeah.
To find out A, if I'm good at them, and B, if I like doing them. Because if you could be amazing at them, but you could hate it.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I can do royal icing.
Yeah. You are our royal icing queen, in fact.
But I always say no now.
Yeah. And so there is everything you look at, every single business should have a niche. Even, and this is the one that I like to use as an example, supermarkets. How many supermarkets are there out there?
Hundreds.
But they all have their own niche, you know. So you go to Lidl and Aldi for a certain reason, because they're cheaper, because they do knockoffs, because the quality's still good-ish, you know, it's okay, but they're like budget. And there's certain things that, you know, you don't get, you have to take your trolley back. You get your shopping fired at you out of the because they're low on staff.
Yeah. I thought another shop that's a good example, TK Maxx.
Yeah.
They sell, you could go in there and get the most fantastic bargain, and it's
the shopping experience, the budget, not the actual product that's the budget. Yeah. So that's like that's their niche. And then you've got places like the traditional supermarkets like Tesco, Sainsbury's, Asda. They're all, again, they all have their own experience.
Unique selling points.
Yeah,
and their own slogans as well, which I can't remember off the top of my head.
No. But then you've got things like the high end. You've got Waitrose, Marks and Spencer's. Again, and to me, the supermarkets, they all have their own niche of experience. They've all got, you know, bread is bread. White bread is bread across the board, but they've all got their different experiences of the shopping, like the shopping experience, and that's their niche.
Yeah.
So everyone has a niche. So to say,
that's such a good example.
It's every business, isn't it? You know, every business. So if you're a cake maker and you go, well, I make cakes. Well, what sort of cakes do you make? I just make cakes. I make cakes, anything. It's like, but what experience is your customer going to get? What experience are you going to give your customer? Is it going to be you know, they're not going to come looking for you. And I think that's the thing. You need people to come looking for you for what you do, because you're an expert in it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Like,
that's a really long way round to get there, wasn't that?
No, you covered a lot of bases.
But put it all in one sentence.
It's thinking about what you're passionate about.
Yeah.
If you don't like doing silhouette cakes and someone messaged you, say, hi, I'm really looking for a silhouette cake, you pass them on to the other cake maker that you know likes making them.
Yeah. But hopefully, if you never show anyone a silhouette cake.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing. Don't put stuff that you don't like doing on your.
Don't show it.
Socials.
But what? So your niche is, if you look at we all follow hundreds of cake makers. Well, I do hundreds of cake makers online, and they've all got one thing. Like, take for example Emily Hankins.
Yeah, painted cake.
She never shows anything but a painted cake.
Yeah.
But if someone says to you, "Do you know somebody who makes painted cakes?" Who's the first person you think of?
Emily Hankins. Yeah.
You know, if someone said to you, I really, really want a hyper-realistic cake, there will be people in your head that you go, I know exactly who that is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's where you want to get to. You want to get to being the person that someone goes, I know exactly the person for that.
Yeah. Yeah. So you also have to identify your customer needs as well. So think about what they want, and is that in your niche as well?
Yeah, yeah, and it's I think quite often needs are quite emotions, but they're like emotional, aren't they? You know,
yeah, because it's a whole process for a customer, which I think we're going to talk about later, aren't we?
Yes, yeah, we have got that down. But because if you just said I make cakes. Well, if someone came to you and goes, I want a birthday cake.
You then have to go, what type of birthday cake do you want?
such a massive whole thing, but actually what that customer has in their head is exactly what they want. Where they don't necessarily know the exact cake they want, but they know the emotion that they want it to conjure up when they deliver it to the person, when they develop it.
Yeah, that's, you know, you hit the nail on the head when you open the box to show them their cake and they go, oh my God, that's just what I wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it might not have been that they've given you an exact design or you've approved the exact design, but they've got on board with who you are as a cake designer.
And they've allowed you to do what you do best, which is what I love when I hate it when a customer goes, I want this cake and I want it to look exactly like that. And
I would say no.
I'm like, no,
red flag.
I do it in my style.
Yeah, big red.
Yeah, red flag.
You need to get that style. You need to get that that what you do. You need to make
je ne sais quoi.
Yeah. I did a blog post. Gosh, a long time ago. And if you go to daisycakeandco.com and put in niche in the it's 2021, this blog post. Put in the search if you put in the search niche, and it'll come up with several different posts. But this one is 4 ways to niche your baking business. So one way that you can do it is by what you bake. So you could do free from, dairy-free, vegan, gluten-free. That could be like your thing. I know there's a couple of shops in Epsom that they're egg-free. So that's their thing, which is amazing because they're opposite one another in the same street.
No.
Which is really weird.
Yeah.
It could be that you're really into like British or Italian or American, you know, that's like a flavor thing.
Yeah.
It could be like boozy cocktail flavors. You could be all chocolate. You could always just do everything with sprinkles. Do you know what I mean? So it could be what you bake. So that is like your first option. You could also do it by the type of celebration that you bake for. So do you do wedding cakes, birthday cakes? Do you always do cookies? Do you always do?
Do you do iced cakes or do you do buttercream?
Yeah. So then also like your style. What style do you always do? So it could be that you are a wedding cake maker. How many different wedding cakes?
Yeah, there's traditional. There's quirky.
Is it fondant, buttercream? Is it?
Yeah.
Do you do gravity-defying cakes? Do you do fault line cakes?
Yeah.
Or what service do you provide? Do you provide like postal boxes, or if you're a wedding cake maker, do you always have consultations, delivery set up? Is that part of your niche? Do you always do you do dessert tables with full styling? You know, you'll go along and style the whole thing. What service do you offer with the style that you're doing?
Yeah, that's very good.
So there's a lot that you can niche down on. What would you say your niche?
Wow, quirky, bright, colourful. I don't have a niche per se.
You have style niche, don't you? Yours is like a creative vibe.
I'm not neat and tidy. All my cakes are more. They're a little bit different.
I can look at one of your cakes and know it's yours.
Yeah.
And that's what you need. That's what you want, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Like when they come to me and they say, I want a buttercream cake, in my head, it's not neat. I've got rippled edges. I've got gold dust and stuff. And when they look at my work, they can see that that's what they're going to get. That is my that's my niche sort of thing.
That's who you are. Yeah.
I'm not traditional.
Yeah. See, when I was making wedding cakes, my niche was more colourful and slightly different. So if it was like a tiered cake, one tier would be like off centre or out somehow.
Yeah.
A lot of colours, a lot of drips going on.
Yeah. Yours were very modern and I hate this word, contemporary.
Yeah, I tried to. So mine was like a more modern art based.
Because I do like traditional, but I like it my style.
Yeah.
Rustic.
Yeah, I mean, I was quite happy to make a 5-tier wedding cake, but it wasn't going to be plain white with flowers all down it.
No.
Never.
No.
But then what happens when you're doing that is you start attracting other suppliers. So you'll have like a network of people that will then go. So no, it's not only cake makers that have a niche, it's other suppliers that have a niche. So say you're in weddings, or like say, I don't know, say you're
wedding coordinators, or wedding event coordinators. So I've got some that come to me because of my style.
Exactly.
Because of
so people have come to her because of her style for her wedding.
Yeah.
She's gone, I've got just the network of suppliers that I can do this with.
Yeah.
And then they come to you.
And actually, when you go to the wedding fair, actually, the other suppliers that are there are very similar. They're, you know, a bit quirky, wild, organic, that type of thing.
You kind of find your tribe, don't you?
Yeah.
And then when clients are looking for that style, they find that tribe with you.
Do you know what? I've never thought of that before. And that is quite right. Yeah.
So, I mean, I know when I was doing wedding cakes, I found like a network of photographers and stylists and wedding coordinators, and I did a lot of photo shoots, and I did I got a lot of referrals, and it was because of who I was suited who they were, and then it's like becomes like a little echo chamber. It all sort of like lands up. But it's not just that; it's also events. Say your thing is to do fairs and markets. So there are lots of different types of fairs and markets. There's like your local market where everyone wants cheap as chips, or there's like your artisan market, or there's your festivals. And so what will happen is that other suppliers there will go, oh, you're looking for a cake maker for a stall. I know exactly the right person.
Yeah.
And it's, again, you're finding the right, your right niche, your right.
It's funny, actually. You know, I did a festival called Jerk Jam.
Yeah.
She's come back to me, and so they had too many suppliers at that festival, but they've got another event at the end of the month, and she's come back to me and she says, we have 5 suppliers, and she's named what they're supplying, and she said, we want a cake maker and we'd like you. I don't think I can do it.
Right. So, obviously you fit their vibe, that you're who and that's the thing, is that don't be offended if you don't fit someone's vibe.
No.
Or
that's right. Yeah. Yeah, because it makes you feel slightly uncomfortable as well, doesn't it, when they're not your people and you rock up.
Yeah.
And they're like, eh.
Yeah. Or you rock up and they're like, I'll just slap it all on. You're like, no, that.
Or you rock up to a venue. This has happened to me, and she wanted to put the cake. The wedding coordinator, which I don't think she was even a coordinator. She was like, "Oh, we'll just stick it there." I went, "But you're next to like this wonderful Georgian fireplace. Shouldn't we put it in front of that? There's nothing in front of this fireplace." She said, "No, I just want it to the side." And I went, but it won't look very nice. And she went, "You arty types." You know, she was like,
and you went, yes. And it's like, that's an insult. That's a compliment to me.
Yeah, she was very derogatory.
And that's the thing. It is, you know, when you find your niche and you find other suppliers in your niche and other people in your niche, you do feel like you're all supporting one another.
Yeah. Well, that's finding, is there a market for your niche as well?
Yeah.
Which is a good thing for doing that as well, because you don't want to have your niche and then research all your competition, and there's hundreds and hundreds of them all doing the same thing.
Yeah. Make yourself stand out a little bit.
Yeah. Make your niche a bit individual.
Yeah. Make it more you.
Definitely. And that's about finding your niche, isn't it?
One thing I would say though, don't ever make your niche about price.
No.
Don't ever be the cheapest, the most affordable, the most reasonable. Don't ever be that.
Because you're actually, I find that if you do that, you lose custom because they think you're so cheap that you're shit.
And the thing is, it's just you're just going to go downhill. Because if people know you as the cheapest, they're then going to push you on price even more.
It's like the people on Facebook. I hate getting tagged in these.
I know.
I'm looking for a cheap cake for next week. It has to be in my budget.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Or reasonable. I want a reasonable cake maker.
Yeah. No, you're not like some of these people charge. There was actually a post like that on Facebook last week, and I read all the comments, and I love the fact that there were cake makers on there going, you do realise you can go to Asda or Sainsbury's or whatever. If you want a cheap cake, you're going to get a cheap baker. It takes a lot of time to make a cake.
That's good.
Which was nice.
We're rising up. We are rising up. But yeah, don't ever make price your niche. You'll never win. It's never a winning game.
No.
No.
So I think I just mentioned this, researching your competition.
Yes. Yeah, and I think with competition, it's like
it's not so much that it's competition, it's what is in your local area. What is everybody else offering? Because these could be your potential future friends that you can recommend to other people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's also it's that thing that you don't want to be copying people, and because what is different about you? You know, you need to be different. And if someone sends you a picture of a cake and goes, I want a cake exactly like that, that's not you. No cake maker can receive a cake and go, yeah, I can make that. That's exactly me. Because it's not. I can't even reproduce my own cakes. But reproducing someone else's cake, it's not my style. It's not my niche. It's not my creativity. No. And also, what defines you with your customer? What makes you different if you're just being the same as every single person?
Yeah.
What is that thing that no, see again, that's ideal client. Talking to one person. See, it's all just so close. But yeah, you have to stand out from the crowd in some way. So I mean, I've got 3 cake makers down my road, and it's not a long road, to be honest. I live at 126. I'm at the top of the road. I think there's 128 houses, and there's 3 cake makers in my road. But we all do very different things.
Yeah.
You know? So I have my cake shed. I provide cakes by the slice. I then write recipes that people can have. So that is my niche. Now, that's kind of what I'm leaning into as my niche. I will sell cakes by the slice at like a cost that people can go, oh, it's a bit of a treat. It's not really cheap. It's a bit of a treat, but I'm quite happy to buy it. Tammy down the road, she's gluten-free. She is gluten-free herself. So
that's handy.
I know. So she has celiac disease herself, I believe. She's definitely very strong gluten-free. So her gluten-free cakes are mind-blowing. They are so good. And then you've got, I don't know what the other one is, Cookies and something she's called. And she does kids' cakes, bright, colourful kids' cakes. So we're all 3 very different cake makers. Whereas, I could do kids' cakes, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
So I recommend her down the road.
Yeah, you've got it sorted.
Yeah, and just because you've got competition, make yourself different from your competition.
So I've also would recommend. So you've found your niche. You've written down all these things, or put them into your laptop, into a spreadsheet, and you've decided
into your business plan.
Yeah. What you should then do is reassess your niche.
Yeah.
To make it sure that everything that you thought applies to what you want.
Yeah. Yeah. And I suppose it's every time you relook at your business, because we were talking about relooking at your business plan. Like monthly, yearly.
Yeah.
Just check that you're still comfortable with your niche. I mean, my niche changed hugely.
Oh yeah, especially in the last part of like the last 3 years. You were like ping, 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 ping.
I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do the other. And I think it's finding that thing that you're really comfortable with. And getting to that point and go, yeah, I'm really happy here. This is where I'm really, really happy.
And you are, aren't you?
I am now, definitely. To be honest, I was really happy making the wedding cakes.
Yeah.
Except I just didn't like delivering them.
Yeah.
I was happy making them in my own kitchen and designing them and making them look lovely. I just didn't want to deal with human beings.
My sister delivered a cake for me yesterday, a 2-tier, and she messaged me. I didn't realise it was quite so stressful. And 2 figures. I did the figures separately on a a drum, a covered drum and everything, and polythene dummy. But yeah, she was stressed out. So yes.
Yeah, and it definitely recess. And also you will check, because although when you look at certain cake makers and you look at them and you can, when you like I say, you look at a cake maker and you look at their style and you see a cake, you go, I know who made that. If you then go and look at their style and look at how that's developed.
Oh gosh, yeah.
It changes so much, and you'll be the same. You're developed as you learn new techniques, as you get better at things, or as you get bored of things.
Yeah, because you change. Nobody wants to make the same cake day after day after day, like or fashions as well come and go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and things like the wafer paper flowers, they were a big thing a few years back, and some people were incredible at them and made it their thing. But then they've developed on different ways of using wafer paper, and
oh my god,
and that's become their thing. So find your thing, become brilliant
and
at
it. Here's an example: Tasteful Cakes, my firm favourite. I'm always mentioning her, Christina Giorgio. She did used to make cakes, but now she just does models and classes, and she's nailed it.
Brilliant. Yeah, she's brilliant at making models. She teaches people to make models, and then she's got products coming out as well.
Yeah.
Another one actually is Molly Robbins. She's another one.
Yeah.
She makes a certain style of structure of the structured cakes.
Yeah. Pussycat, doggies.
Yeah.
And Ollie's molds.
And then she's made a product, so everyone can do it.
Yeah.
But then people still go back to her because she's the first and she's the best.
Yes, definitely.
Right.
I think we've covered everything. So we're going to jump straight into... I've got to remember it because it's different. Top tips. Grania and Sammy's top tips. Something like that.
Something like that. Well, it's that now. It's that.
Yeah.
Right, what's your top tip? What's your top tip?
My top tip this week is don't be afraid to say no.
Amazing. That goes right in with the niche as well. If it's not your niche, don't do it.
Yeah. Don't be on the fence, wobbling around. I don't want to do it, but I don't want to say no. I don't want to say yes. Say no. If you want to do it, say yes. But if you don't, say no.
Yeah.
And if you feel in your gut, in your belly, in your heart that it's a no, just say no.
Say no.
Because at the end of the day, what's the worst that could happen?
Yeah. And the thing is, if you say yes, the worst that can happen is so much worse than if you say no.
Yeah, that's right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Saying that so, and it's a real hard lesson to learn there, isn't it?
Oh yeah. And sometimes
you make that sound so easy. Just say no. Yeah, just say no.
Well, I did that this week. I've said no to something, which was quite a big thing.
Yeah.
And I felt really good afterwards because I actually stopped. I went away. I did something else before I came back and said no, which is, I think, what sometimes we forget is that you can go, oh, well, I'll think about that. Can I let you know?
Yeah.
I'll let you know by such and such time.
Customers do us all the time. Yeah, customers will say, I just need to go and ask my husband.
Yes. I had someone do that to me. I've had 2 do that to me this week. I
just need to ask my husband. You never hear from them again.
Yeah. Tumbleweed. But
yeah, so customers can say no to you. So
what you can say no to customers.
It's your business. It's your creative genius. Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
And what's yours?
So my top tip is email templates.
Oh my God. Do you know what? This is such a good tip.
Email templates. Have templates written for your responses to emails. And actually thinking about it, have one written for your email that says no as well.
Yeah.
So when you get an email in, you've got it. Or you know how you get an email and you go, "Hi, thanks for your email. Looking at your design. Do a bit of blurb, oh, how wonderful you're having a celebration, how exciting, congratulations on setting your wedding date," all that sort of stuff. And then have it all written down so you don't have to type it over and over and over again.
It's funny you say that because I completely forgot I had templates. And it's because I have my friend Sue comes and helps me with my emails.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
She struggles with technology. So to get her to use the template takes twice as long. So I haven't been using them. And I was tidying up my drafts and they're all in there. I was like, what? Oh my God, I've forgotten I had them.
But also have the one that comes in and you don't want to do it and you want to say no.
Yeah.
Rather than pontificating about how you say no, have that template there. So you've written it. You don't have to think about the emotion of saying no to these people, and have alternative cake makers on it straight away.
Oh my God, yes.
They're all there. You don't have to go,
oh my God. Yeah.
Have it all laid out. And what I would say is either have them in your draft folders, like you just did, or I have a lot of stuff in my notes app. So I use OneNote, but there's lots of different notes apps. So if you're sat on your phone and you
get my
cross platforms,
God, that is genius.
So you don't have to go, I can't reply to that until I go back to my computer. Because you put it in a notes app that can be on your phone, on your computer, on your iPad.
Heck? Genius.
So there you go. Top tip.
I'm writing that top tip down because I'm very forgetful,
Yeah, it comes with age, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Templates, keep notes. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, I think that's everything. What are we talking about next time?
Next week we are talking about, I think we've trailed it a few times.
Yes,
Idle Client. Idle Client, which is very, very closely linked to finding your niche.
Yes.
They kind of go hand in hand, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They do.
So part 3 of our Cake Business Fundamentals next week. Yeah. Please subscribe.
Review. Dance, of course. Add something to our Spotify playlist.
Spotify.
Yeah, if you've got anything you want us to
the words of the Spotify, Kaylee. Yeah, add the Friday afternoon bake list. Send in your boogie tune.
Oh, I've just thought of one. You've got to write it down. Afternoon delight. I don't know what that one is. I'll have to Google it.
Okay. It'll be on the bake list by next week, I promise.
Afternoon delight.
Googling it. I don't know whether you can play it though, because if you play it, we might have to pay copyright.
Oh, I won't play it. By Starland Vocal Band.
Right, I will add that to the list. So if you go onto Spotify, the afternoon bake list, it's our kitchen disco tunes.
I wonder how old it is. That's very old. 1976.
Oh.
No, I'm older.
But yeah, please come back next week. We will be talking about Idle Client next week.
Yes, look forward to hearing you listen. Bye.